Onitsha, a land of prosperity, a land of refinement, a land of royalty. Long ago, before the arrival of the white man, a very brave and intelligent figure led a group of sojourners out of the kingdom of Benin. This great man was known as Ezechima. Ezechima, along with some of his followers, moved out of the kingdom eastward towards the River Niger. The journey lasted years, and as time went on, some of the sojourners became settlers, dropping from the migration group. As a result, smaller towns were created like Onitsha Ado, Onitsha Ado, and others. The settlers who continued finished their journey by crossing the River Niger, settling on the river bank where they established the town we all know as Onitsha Ado N'idu. As time went on, the town grew in mass, having countless kings and chiefs and producing endless nobles and hardworking citizens. Onitsha became the giant of the eastern region of Nigeria as a result of this great migration. But what if I told you that this wasn't the only great migration Onitsha Ado N'idu went through? Let the story begin.
My name is Lawrence Repwopoli. Title name is Onanim. I'm from Onitsha, Obolieke village, Umwisaba, precisely.
I'm village, and currently residing in Baltimore area.
My name is Mbanefo Arai from Omo Aramuzokolo of Vipo village.
As you can see, we're here to have fun.
Yeah, I am Baji Dr. Nemeka Joseph Almata from Balekeke, village of Onitsha. I live in Chicago, in the suburbs of Chicago, St. Charles.
My name is Onitsha Ado Josephine Gay Idochi Onwemene. From my village is Oboli village.
Hello everyone, I am Akon Wejofa Chukwa IGJ from Iyawo Rodibia. I live in New York with my family.
Through these avenues, we have grown strong enough to invite you, the world, today to visit us as Onitsha people here in America.
We have come from a far and distant place on the banks of the River Niger, the majestic Niger. Most of you have come to the United States in search of the proverbial golden fleece. We intend to go back and use the acquired skills to help build our motherland.
By the time we came to the United States, all we come for is to get the education and go back to Nigeria, because Nigeria was a heaven at that time.
The country looks like it's doing good, but I can sense that something is going south.
About that time, because of corruption, things were changing. There was not much improvement in anything.
Nigeria was already changing. The economic situation wasn't like when I left Nigeria. So it was my intention is to, return back home. But, things changed, I stayed back.
We are aware of the current regional conditions at home. Instead of improving the quality of life, we are seeing a regression into the dark ages
Let's have this people mother, Onitsha, who will tell us when we were watching it.
It is incumbent upon us, as immigrants who are placed in better circumstances, to help in any way that we can. The time to act is now, and we must not wait.
Tell me that when the story of this country is told, you will have nothing to regret.
The Obey of Onitsha.
I was brought up in Onitsha. I attended my elementary school and secondary school in Onitsha, but my secondary school, which is like high school, was in another town called Owerri. So I went to Owerri Girls Secondary School.
Grew up in Onitsha. I went to Emmanuel Church Primary School, and after that I went to River Niger Memorial Primary School. At primary 4, I moved to Nsukka, where I went to St. Paul Secondary School, Nsukka, and then later on to St. Teresa's.
I grew up in Onitsha. I went to St. Mary's Primary School, and from there went to Nemo High School. But before then, I attended Dennis Memorial Grammar School briefly before going to St. Michael's. That's where I graduated.
Waking up in the morning, do our chores, sweep the compound, go to the river, fetch water, bath, and then come back, carry our bags. The school is that can be a mile or something like that.
Most families there send their children to school. Many Onitsha people studied law, for instance, such that mothers were referred to as mama lawyer.
Most of the families have a doctor and a lawyer. It's a common thing they call the mothers ne doctor or ne lawyer. The mothers, they are proud to be addressed that way. Because of our great-grandfathers, the way they embrace the missionaries in Onitsha. The missionaries start building school. Onitsha people, they love education.
In fact, when the state had 14 judges, 12 of them were Onitsha people, because now Onitsha people read law a lot. Yes, and many of them go to UK to read law. So we are into education. In fact, sometimes I liken Onitsha to this Washington metro area because of the number of schools we have. We had like Christ the King College, which is CKC. These are very popular schools. We had the Dennis Memorial Grammar School, which is DMGS. Then we had the Queen of the Rosary College for Girls, which is QRC. And then WMGS, Washington Memorial Grammar School.
We went to school the same place. We have rivalry among the schools. We play in the house balls. We know each other throughout the people from Umude, because we'll meet them in soccer. I'm in Ayewunam, and we will gather, we'll come, and it should know who's better and who's not. And I'm a defender, so we will, him, we will not give him chance to do that. And after all of that, we became friends.
If you come to school late, there will be some punishment. So we try to do things as quickly as possible so that one won't incur the wrath of the teachers.
My upbringing in Onitsha was very disciplinary, unlike what is going on in America. Every time a woman or a man try to discipline the child, is a child abuse. We are subjected on that very difficult growing up, that respect is a must. If you don't respect your elders, they will beat it out of you. That is what molded us, and having told us that a failure is not an option.
Because if you come when the assembly is on, they will put you on one side. and after that, they will punish you. Punishment is like giving you some lashes. You know what I'm talking about? We don't take it as anything but sort of a disciplinary action, right? The teachers have so much regard and influence that if you are punished in school and your parents heard about it, they will give you a punishment, another one, on top of the one that the teachers gave you.
Our fathers, went to Oluoyibo, different places. And finally, they retired and they came home. My father made so rest in peace, Akukobuli. He worked outside Onitsha, mostly in the north. But when he retired, he worked as an engineer in telecommunication.
My mother was a widow. I was at the age of 24 when my father passed away. I'm the oldest in the family, and I had a big responsibility to take care of my mom and my siblings, which I did my best to support them. Working in Nigeria was a little bit of challenge, just like any, don't have the same facilities. We did our best to work. Different jobs.
Everybody in a family is responsible to make a contribution to the family. That is not an option either. That's a must, especially for the boys. And you are being guided every minute of the day by your parents, not just your parents, your uncle and the rest of it.
After my graduation, I was lucky enough to get a job at UNTH. I worked on the pharmacy department at Enugu.
I was born and brought up in Onitsha. They call it the Riverside Maternity in Onitsha, also called O2. So I never lived in inland town, but I do visit.
Spend our weekends at the village. My dad is a pharmacist. He works from Monday through Saturday. But whenever we finish our school on Friday, he will take us to the village.
Growing up, we live in a part of the town they call us the Uguaya, because we don't live in the village proper, but outside the village. So they call us the Uguaya. And we used to go to the village and play with them. After that, we will come back.
The O2 side is mainly, you meet people from neighboring towns. People from other towns are allowed to buy properties in O2, but not in inland town. Inland town, when I was growing up, is more Onitsha indigenous, because that's the village, that's where the traditional customs, everything is being done there. Burials are actually done in inland town. Can perform the ceremony in O2, but then the corpse, your body will be carried down up to inland town.
Growing up in Onitsha, I wouldn't trade it for anything. I didn't go to boarding school. I lived in here. I went to school at Army Barracks, and I would go to school. I have accommodation there, but I never stayed there. I'll come home every day. Thanks to Akunle bought my father a car. My father doesn't use the car, I'm the one who uses the car. So I would head back and forth. My father will encourage me to, don't let this car lay here. We have to use it. So I would drive back and forth. And anywhere my father want to go, I'll take him to. So, but it was the best upbringing anybody could ask for.
There was a time, communally, every weekend, we'll clean up the villages. And if you are not there, the kids might come to your father's compound, and anything they see there, they will take it. Like chicken or fowl, sometimes goats, because he did not come out. That's a kind of gathering to us.
The New Yam Festival, for example. So you go there and you watch the masquerades and all whatnot.
I left Onitsha when I was only 21 years old.
So, but before then, I have done everything in Onitsha that a youth would have done, including playing of the drums. I started playing drums in Onitsha because my brother, they have grew in the village there, I think about 1975 or thereabout. They went to Iwariam to get a group to teach them how to play the Nigerian music. They will start by 2. So by 1 every day, we will go to the spot, get the drums out, and then, start playing before they will come. Mind you, we were part of everything, but they were not trying to teach us how to play. They were teaching them because we were so young. I couldn't carry the big drum. Then I was young, but that was when my interest in drums started. Before they were done, one day we were playing, those groups from Iwariam came, and they were, oh my God, it would have been better for us that these are the people that we taught how to play this drum. So it was it was a childhood obsession.
There's dancing, the group dance for youths, for young people. I did that when I was little. It's called Igwaja. So it's age grade, village. I did participate, but it's gonna be doing it. I think I participated maybe once or twice.
Then when we were growing up, playing drums, it is everybody, you don't want to be local. If you play the drums, you're looked down upon. But it's what I like to do. And if you want to be in the good book of my father, you have to do traditional dance. If you don't, then you never get along with him. And I revere my father so much that I always want to be in his good book. So I will play the drums, and he will commend me. When our village will go out to play, he will look and make sure I'm amongst them and everything.
I'm the only girl out of 5 brothers and the baby. So because of that, I would say that I'm a child prodigy. I was initiated into Onitsha Ado at the age of 9. Traditionally, you would say I'm the oldest living Odo member. At that time, usually young girls of my age were not, they don't usually do it. It's mostly older people. Not because there's a law in it, but the thing is that it's actually expensive, and the people don't see the need for it, doing it to a younger person, because it's usually older people. Being the way my mother seeing me, the baby. So I was initiated into that. I couldn't even understand what it meant then. If you're initiated into Odo at that time, it's usually, you don't walk around or do much. It's kind of you. There's a way you carry yourself. You don't move around much. It's really, when you say prestigious society, that's really prestigious society. So like a retirement, when you retire, older people, when you retire, then that is done for you.
Mostly, there is 2 tight roads in Onitsha, or 4. I would say 4. New Market Road, the Old Market Road, the Enugu Road, and Oka Road.
Onitsha was quite developed. They had the biggest market in West Africa.
Our mothers were involved in trade. Some of them made good money. Some of them, when you come to a family, you see their dad is working with his hand all up and there. But it was the money that the woman was making from those trade that is actually powering the whole family.
My house actually is very close to the main market. We live in Old Market Road. and you take Old Market Road down, straight down, and you get to Osel Ward, and then you continue down there. And my mother was, she sells fish. She's a wholesaler of dry fish.
Everybody from all over West Africa, Lagos, everywhere, they came to Onitsha to buy their stuff.
The Northerners, the Hausas, actually, I speak Hausa very fluently because of my exposure to the Northerners, because that's my mother's business. That market is very unique. It's a place of joy. You know, there is nothing you cannot find there in that market. It's very, very exciting. Every day, when I get back from school, elementary school, I can't wait to go to that market because of all the fabrics, the foodstuffs, a lot of people that are there. And you as a child, going down, seeing all this, I can just stay in the market. In fact, once I come back from work, I'm running to go to the market just to be there. And because if I'm with her, she will buy a lot of different kinds of food. We have the plantain. I'll be eating all these snacks. And then there's the River Niger itself. You can't wait to just go down there to the river. You go down the stairs, and then just for your feet to touch the water there. And then you see a lot of boats. There's a canoe, there's different kinds of food. It's a great place for kids to you can sit there, just looking at, if it's just staying at the steps and watching the flow of the boats. And I don't even think that the boats that they're there anymore. There's a side where they sell the fish. When I say fish, it's not fresh fish. It's the dry fish that they sell in baskets. And you go down the stairs there, and there are some fishermen also. They have their own that they roasted, and they're selling them in the boats there, inside the boats. You see, that market, that transaction is going on. So there are so many. That place is a place that, oh my goodness. If you have a camera, you can keep just taking pictures. You'll be entertaining yourself by just looking around. Just one area, it will be long. Because it's so big, you don't even know where to start.
The market, the big market, like I said, which is the biggest market in West Africa, was run by these non-Onitsha people, the Igbos. They are the ones. Although we technically own the stores, the sheds, but they were run by the other non-Onitsha people.
We have this big market, but our people is not into trade. We look down on it. An Onitsha person, if you don't become a lawyer, or a doctor, or engineer, or then you are not valued.
The blessing in that market is that people will come from different parts of the world on it without a dime, and they're all in that Onitsha. Within a couple of years, they're all millionaires. It's amazing because of that market.
So that very 1967, the Civil War, Nigerian Civil War started.
When we lost direct contact with Lagos, they had some 4 battalions and received a few armored vehicles.
My name is Emmanuel Chukwudep. I live in Cincinnati, Ohio, in the United States of America. I've been here for roughly 47 years. Well, yeah, that Biafra War was something to really not forget.
It was the worst time of any youth in Nigeria, in Igbo land. We were moving like nomads from different town to different town that are falling under the federal government of Nigeria attack on a regular basis.
I was, in my teens, the conflict broke out within Nigeria, and we were in the midst of a civil war, in which I guess the rest of Nigeria was trying to retrieve a breakaway faction that was called Biafra. We lived in a little university town called Nsukka, and that was where you had the University of Nigeria, one of the premier universities in Nigeria. So my dad was working at the university. Then hostilities broke out. Igbos were being mistreated in other parts of the country, especially in the north. They were actually being slaughtered, killed, and being asked to go back home. As I suspect, go back home meaning go back to your region, as opposed to go back home, which Nigeria is home to everybody. Got to our family, and my dad was relieved of his job at the University of Nigeria, Nsukka. So it was like he was basically fired, and then he returned to Onitsha, after losing the job at Nsukka. So we did go back to Onitsha.
Initially, we thought he wouldn't get to us, Then all of a sudden, the shelling was everywhere. Across our house, every resident, across the road, the mark of the war is still there today. They didn't touch it. The first bomb they threw was in that compound. That was when we knew the war is almost to our doorstep.
The Nigerian government or Nigerian military somehow came from the west, the Midwest, Benin side, Saba side, and they came and they kind of like got a foothold at the Saba side of the River Niger, and they were shelling Onitsha constantly.
I remember when I was young, going to the market to sell things to survive. My brother, the young one, went to the army. I went to the army. We also in the army. I was an engineer in the army. He was at it when we were maybe 16, 15. He was at the army. They were conscripting people. That is by force, repeatedly by force.
When Onitsha fell, the army and Nigerian army, they will come to our house, take whatever they want, and they go back. We will be here, we'll be there. We'll take our dog inside because we don't want the dog to bark.
That they decided they were going to move into Onitsha. They started shelling in Onitsha, shelling, the area where we lived, and did not have any problem for some months. Even though they were in the Asaba section, waiting to attack Onitsha. Well, eventually they did. They started shelling in Onitsha. And so we had to flee.
My husband was working in Enugu. He's working with ADC or ADC or NBC. With radio job.
All of us have to vacate Onitsha because it was a war zone. So you have to go into the hinterlands, and they were not friendly to Onitsha people. The other Igbos were not friendly to Onitsha people, and a lot of them actually killed a lot of Onitsha people.
For political reasons, the leadership in Biafra decided that they were going to lock up prominent Onitsha indigents because they were afraid they were going to sabotage the war effort. I don't know how that they came by that, but notice that a lot of prominent Onitsha people were locked up during the war. Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe was detained for a period of time and then they released him. Justice Mbadefo was detained for a minute and then they released him. These are some of the big names in Onitsha that were being detained. Some of them were being released and some of them were not. My dad, Ben Chukudaba, he was detained, never released until the war ended. Dad Ibekwe, he was detained during the war and released as the war ended. I suspect that Mike Ibekwe too, he was the commissioner of police before the war and during the war and after the war. And he was detained for a period of time and also released. Even my grandfather was detained for a minute, but he was released early. Achuku was detained. I'm not sure why they would do something like that, but the story was that there was somebody in Onitsha that was actually instigating these things, and they were in touch with Ojuku, and they were pointing at several Onitsha people that could be a risk.
Grandpa was in Onitsha, and later on they took them to put them in the prison, saying that Grandpa was cooking stew for the people that was waging war against them. Men we have in Onitsha, they collected all of them and put them in the prison.
So what happened? They started shelling. Okay, so what we did was we pack up a little once. And I can remember very well, we took one of the hen. That was in English hen. It was so big. He lays egg every day. In Ihala, we ran to Ihala. And every day that's, until they stole it. Oh, yeah.
My mother has shop, and this guy was renting the store, my mother. And with her, he hasn't happened to be around when there was shelling. Everybody we just started running. We jumped into his car and he just drove to his city, because you have to be moving away from where the shelling, you're hearing the sound of the shelling, the bullets, you have to keep running. So people, you keep driving at a point, you leave your car, but we were very lucky.
Uncle Ulu they were the people, they were helping Ojuku. They were working with the army. They were working with the army, and he was the person that was bringing food for us. We were in Umuahia. He was bringing everything from Olu. Olu was the headquarters where the opposition, we are feeding people. That is Biafran people. We are feeding people. He was helping to bring food for us because we were the whole family. We were living together in one place in Olo. Where is Ihite Owere?
So when we got to his place that same night, their king, the villages, they got together and said that we have to move, that we are from Onitsha, that Onitsha people are not welcome there. A lot of us went through that. A lot of us. So we had to move to go to another place. There are some of us that moved off to 3 places that they were not welcome. They said that Onitsha people, you are not welcome. You can't come here because we look down on you guys. Onitsha people look down on other Igbos. We call them Ndibo. That is that they're inferior to us now. Look what's happening to us.
Few that had the Igbo in-laws took advantage of that to run to their mother's side. For me, both my father's side and my mother's side were all from Onitsha. But when Onitsha fell, I don't remember the exact year, whether it's 67 or 68, that the Nigerian military moved rushed into Onitsha. We even had to evacuate. Everybody had to evacuate.
Somewhere in Oka area, we ended up as a family in Aguhu. Aguhu is the hometown of the mother of Dan Ibekwe. Dan Ibekwe and one of the four majors that was the family unit that we had that we moved with during the war.
All of us, we are there together. We are living in a big house. All of us, my sisters and their husbands and their children, we were living together in one place.
And we had auditions to come there and stay as a flight from Onitsha. This soldier was being attacked.
During the war, they paid with their own currency, and the currency you can't use it to buy anything from Nigeria. So Azikiwe negotiated with them, and they started giving us their own money. They were fighting us with planes. They were throwing bombs, and the bombs killed so many people.
Food was very scarce. Right. The people did not survive. Hardship.
They didn't have any plane to go and bomb back. They were not bombing. We hadn't any gun or anything. The Biafrans they were fighting with nothing because they collected everything back to Kanu or Kaduna, where they kept everything they were using for war. And we just do education. In wherever you are, you gather some children, you start teaching them, and the government will be paying you with their money, their own money.
I can remember trekking with loads in our head, and until we get to Ihal. And when we get there, it wasn't that we were so free then. The fighters and the bombers and was everywhere.
And a lot of houses were demolished during the Civil War. And we came back. There was no place to live. We had to move to out on where they call Fege in Onitsha, where they didn't demolish the houses, but inland town, some areas in American quarters where we lived were all demolished. So practically we had to start from scratch to rebuild.
They wanted to go in and start killing people. When the war stopped, Sikiwe was able to go and negotiate with the people that were fighting us, and they stopped the war entirely. Everybody went back. By then, so many people died.
So the war, it set us back because I knew we lost about how many years? That's 3 years or 4 years. 3 years. Because our counterparts in Yoruba, Hausa, and everything, they were ahead of us. After the war, when we came back, the school was demolished.
From 1967, 68, 69, we didn't go to school because of the Civil War. So after that, 1970, January 1970, the war ended. So we went back to school again.
What we used to go to school then, if we go to where the mold blocks, we'll carry it. That's what we used to sit with until the school was rebuilt
After the war, we went back to Enugu because our house was still standing. They didn't break the house where we were. So while the war stopped, we went back to wherever we started. The schools that were destroyed, so not so many schools were destroyed in Enugu, but those ones that were destroyed, they started rebuilding them. They rebuilt so many things.
After the war, every person that owned an account only received £20 from the federal government. No matter how much money you had in the bank, they only gave us £20. For the resilience of the Igbos, we brought themselves back, or we brought ourselves back.
Of the Midwestern state, well known for its deep and abiding respect for natural rulers, has sent a delegation of 41 chiefs to honor this special traditional occasion. Various organizations, including the Hausa community in Onitsha, also attended. Chief C.O. Nebe, the Ichie of Oka, and other chiefs from neighboring towns and villages arrived in time to watch the cultural pageantry. The administrator of the East Central State, Mr. Fabi Ateka, and Mrs. Chinyere Ateka, and many eminent personalities from Onitsha town and other parts of the East Central State had also come to witness the first Ofala festival of the new Obi of Onitsha. Richly adorned in the customary ceremonial robes, attended by his retinue of music makers, one of the first-run traditional chiefs arrived in grand style. Royal regalia, and attended by his special retinue. It is usual for the Obi to make 3 public appearances in order to inspect his subjects and to acknowledge the homage and greetings of his people. In descending order of rank to pay homage to the king. Homage of visiting delegates, members of the Abalance Society, and other important members of the community. This is usually not the end of the Ofala festival, for on the second day, the Azo Ofala follows. This is the day of the age grades of Onitsha. The Obi, without his ceremonial robes, is on the throne to receive the special homage of his people. Groups of men and women dance at the court before the throne, chanting laudatory tunes to the Obi, while the presence of various societies in their elegant costumes heightens the day's ceremony. All the 8 grades are present, including that of the administrator, Mr. Fabi Ateka. By general consensus, all the sons and daughters of Onitsha, without any regard for class or status, are obliged to join their 8 grades and contribute to the splendor which attends the remarkable annual social heritage, the Ofala Festival.
Beautifying, deeply cleansing, leaves your skin a glowing radiantly. It's got that joy-girl quality.
Actually, I have been watching with keen interest and emphasizing and the traditional pattern being exhibited here. I've seen that they have.
At the main section, some guys are also discussing feeling free.
The economic situation then in Nigeria was very good. Leaving Nigeria to the United States was something that really bothered me because Nigeria was so good, you know. Leaving Nigeria, I was living very well, you know, working, making money, you know, driving your own car.
Everything is really, really fine, socially, but economically. You don't go like what you're seeing today, like people actually asking you for money or any. No, you don't do that because out of they need it. You can see that they need it now. Growing up in Onitsha was a very flourishing city.
I worked at the accounts department of the central bank, and we did go to the exchange control department to help people remit money to overseas, and it was very favorable for Nigerians. Nigeria had wealth, real wealth, not what they have now. At the time, if you had 100,000 naira, it was worth a lot more than what it is now.
The economic state of Nigeria is booming. There's a time during that period we have a kind of oil crisis. The Middle East, due to Israeli war and the Arabs are the chief suppliers of crude oil to Western world, and they put embargo not to supply crude oil to. So all this Western world, they turn around and come to Nigeria. And Nigeria starts supplying them oil. And that's why the economy of Nigeria was booming that time.
In Igbo land in general, not just Onitsha, there was a lot of industries producing different things, cocoa, palm oil, and just farm products that are processed and sold outside Nigeria to generate income.
The exchange rate was good. I remember coming to America with 700 naira and changed it to about $1,500. So at that time, I remember Nigeria lending money to Britain. I remember Nigeria lending money to Britain. Nigeria was a heaven. Nobody wants to leave Nigeria.
When we came here, naira was 2 naira to $3 in the 80s, from 75 to 85. Naira was a strong currency, stronger than American dollar.
But at the same time, it was something that destroyed other industries. The fabric industries, all these companies closed. Gradually, not at the same time, but gradually they started closing because people are moving out of those, focusing on generating wealth through oil. Once the industry was destroyed, it never came back. You know, Nigeria was very vibrant in the 60s, producing different farm products that are sold outside Nigeria to generate income. Those industries, most of them are closed because people shifted out of those hard work into making money in the oil field.
So financially, Nigeria was good. In my upbringing, we had a comfortable home. We're not the most wealthy people, but we were very comfortable.
You don't lack anything. You're not gonna be a millionaire. You're not gonna be a millionaire for you to be fulfilled.
We lived a life where when we were young, you can get up in the morning and go to your neighbor's house and join their feasting, eating food in their houses.
Cake is for this occasion.
My
mother said to me, if you ever find yourself in any town later, just ask anybody do you know any Onitsha person in this town? Just ask like that. You don't have to know them. You just go and say to them, I'm from Onitsha. Am I right? That's you're taken care of. Just you go to a strange town, you don't know anybody, you get off the bus, just sit there, but please, do you know anybody from Onitsha around here somewhere? They point to a house, go there and knock on the door. See if you're Onitsha, you don't. So give you food.
That's like every Onitsha person you see outside Onitsha will give you, if in the last couple of years, seriously, that is onions.
Yeah.
You know, that is onions.
And during that time, to own a car is luxury. And in Onitsha, I don't think there's any family you go to when I was growing up that you not see at least one car. That's a car there. That's how you know that family. You won't say that millionaires, but that they are okay. Every family. There's no family. Your neighbors, you go to town. I mean, it's just people were happy. People were happy.
One day, I will be in Oboni, or Boz, or people, or Noma. That is with leg. Yes. Sometimes they would drive me. I remember an occasion they drove me from Oboli. I went to Oboza, and this Egwawa, and others. The night play. The moon was shining. It was when they were going to their respective houses that I found out, oh my God, I gotta go. I took my siblings. We ran from Oboza non-stop till we get to our house. Our parents was waiting for us. Oh my God. I took every blame.
To save them.
To save them. My father was so furious. Let me tell you how my father disciplines us. Early in the morning, my mother would come into our rooms and wake us up. Your father wants you. Oh my God. We'll start asking, what did you do? What did you do? What happened? What happened?
This is continuing.
Yeah. And we'll stand by the foot of the bed. And the man will pretend that he's sleeping. He wasn't sleeping. If we talk to you that early morning, oh my God, he will register in your, oh boy. Sometimes he will come back from work, bringing a paper, daily, what do they call that? Daily Times or something like that. He will give it to you to read. That's a punishment that he has read the paper very well. So if you make a mistake, you will do like this and you will, sometimes he will think you're sleeping, you will stop reading, you will turn around, and you start from where you stopped.
But in everything, okay, the neighbors, if you don't, whatever you don't have, there's relatives then that are very open-minded. You can always get whatever from neighbors. You don't see people asking. That is so it's outrageous what is happening now. It's really nobody. People are actually embarrassed to ask another person for money or for anything.
Yeah.
The other relatives will just give you this gift. People just give you gift. Nobody will ask you for anything. So economically, Onitsha is one of the richest cities in Anambra State at that time.
In education, and they mentioned something called GCE or WIAC.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like after secondary school, you take either GCE or WIAC to determine if you're gonna, go to university in Nigeria, or you mentioned either go to university in Nigeria or go to university in London or abroad.
Oh no, WIAC is it's kind of like what you're talking about SAT. It's SAT that you take for you to go abroad. So you're able to, and some people will take TOEFL. TOEFL is funny. It's test of English language as a foreign language. So TOEFL, But TOEFL to us is nothing because we all speak very good English and we're all colonized by you do English. Even though if you come here, they think you don't speak English, really, because of your accent. So you take SAT, SAT.
For you to graduate from secondary school in Nigeria, there is an external exam you have to take. They call it GCE London or WAEC. You know, the WAEC is for the West African countries. The GC London is from the England administered to Nigerian students. So you can take both or you can take one. Whichever one you take, it's okay with the Nigerian universities.
It's a test for you to study abroad. You know, some colleges, they will give it to you. They give it to you. If you pass it, then some of your credit, maybe they will subtract it from your credit load. Yeah, if you are admitted to the college. So GCE and WAEC are the same thing, but GCE is stronger because you can use it to go overseas. Yes, but WAEC is for local, for Nigeria. If you take it, if you don't pass it, if you don't pass WAEC, you don't get to WAEC. You're not going to enter any university because it means you failed. You won't get your diploma in high school.
Afambo Onanenyi Oseloka Anwu Lumudei village. Lumudei Awo Osumu Wabo Nzoli. But ime ogbe. Ebi n'Onitsha n'ime ogbe. Jaa kwụ n'Onitsha. Jesi kesi bụ secondary school like Jesi alụọ n'Onitsha na Standard Bank. Oge gboo Standard Bank change the afia keta okporo Standard Bank na akpọzi First Bank. When everybody bido anyị na-eje ahịa ebesi afọ ebe busi akwụkwọ na akwụkwọ dịrọrọ nne so ọ ga onye je chọrọ ya jọ ịjọ akwụkwọ for the little position so they know ana arachọn enwere ike itinye n'ịchọrọ ịbụ doctor enye ike bụrụ engineer maka na ọnọdụ adịrọrọ nne.
The last straws that when the Kabel back put instigated me to come to the United States was that ECOWAS, Economic Community of West African States, was formed. And as a result of that, the president of Nigeria became the president of ECOWAS.
It is also my sincere hope that our deliberations at this meeting will set us firmly on the road to the fulfillment of our commonly held aspirations for greater effective cooperation of the countries of West Africa and a more cohesive and prosperous sub-region.
And in doing so, he allowed every West African country student to come to university to Nigeria. And that at this point, Nigeria has about 13 universities, while other West African country has 1 or 2. In getting admission into one of Nigerian universities, you must be number 1 and number 2 in your class, of which I'm not.
Those universities, they are very, very competitive. Not all the students can get admission. Some of the young kids that didn't get the admission, they start looking for admission outside the country, mostly United States and Canada and UK.
That after sitting for the exam 2 times and passing and being on a waiting list at 89 and 88% to do accounting, University of Nigeria, so I couldn't get an admission. And after the second time, that's why I came to the United States.
Oh, well, maybe I will get books and it works in Jantatu with God. So now, when we go with Nigeria, one day, American will and they be a lot of 20s and 30s out on the river as a river. I thought one day be alone. Of the Muadi, one day put on never one day van. You not be a Holland after 70s. I had there earlier than anyone, early 70s, 71, 73.
It's my husband that loved America. You know, when we were dating in Nigeria, it's the one that is after US. I didn't want to go anywhere. I know of Britain, London. Everybody knows about London because we are colonized by the British, so you know about them. And most of our relatives and all that, everybody goes to London. So America, the only thing I hear is that it's too far. So my husband is eager. He loves to come here. He loves the things about America when we are dating.
Coming into America, it wasn't as joyful, if I can say that, because I was robbed. I was robbed at New York, coming in, going into that big airplane, I was so excited, I stayed up all night, it was so excited that when I got to New York, I fell asleep waiting for my connecting flight, and there I was robbed. Most of my papers, I lost all of them, and my traveler's check, about $7,000 to the school was left, but I was able to recover that because we called back immediately to Nigeria to stop that check before, whoever, took it from me, was able to catch it.
Nigerians used to go to the United Kingdom a lot for studies. I needed to do some further studies, not just end up with a secondary school. I needed to study for higher education. That was the goal I'm going there.
My father was River Niger, just a bit Mebunike from Ogwendida. And we did not grow up in Onitsha. We probably wasted one of his head offices was in Enugu, so we grew up in Enugu. We visited Onitsha for a long vacation all the time. About when I was 9 or 10, we migrated to Britain, and I went to school in Britain for my middle school here and high school.
I first of all went to the United Kingdom for further studies. I did secretarial studies at Hammersmith and West London College. And then later on, I applied for admission to a university in the United States, and I was admitted at Ohio University in Athens, Ohio.
Coming to the United States was straight from London to United States, and I came primarily because I had two options. I had an option I just finished my O-levels, and you could do the advanced level, then go to a university, or that's 2 years, or you can come to United States and go straight to university with my O-levels. And my elder sister made that decision that I would not be taking the advanced level, that I should come to United States. So
I remember when I told my father that I'm going to America. He turned around. You are doing what?
Okay.
Okay. If you are going to America, what preparation did you not make? I was ready. I brought out for my 20, my passport, that's my BTA.
Yes.
He didn't say anything. Just went down and sat. He went to call his brother, Ezeniobu, and he said, "Could you tell him what he told me?" He was. So I told Ezenio that told my father that I want to go to America and have everything ready. I said, let him go. Do you want to keep him? That was it. My father threw the send-off party for me. And off I went. He used to tell me, oh yeah, to not perfect. Because growing up, I was asthmatic. When it comes, I can stay in the house for 1 week without going anywhere. I will go to school. You know where people secondary school? When it starts, all this, 911, I will climb on top of it. I know that was his concern. I was so sickly, but nothing keeps me down.
At the bright young age of about 15, I boarded the plane by myself, arrived in the United States and started university. The first semester was my 16th birthday here in Houston, Texas, is where that I went to in Texas Southern University. And I had my siblings around me. My eldest sister and later my immediate elder brother came as well to Houston.
Bueno, yo, yo. Oh, yo, yo. 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 Bueno, Ado Nene. Ado Nene Boto Gego Nabia. Ema Bogo Boto Nyamoma Nabia. When I do nene, when I do nene, Mama Mobo to Gego Navia, Anya Mumo to Mama Muraviano, I don't know to Gego Navia, Gego to Gego Naviano, Onitsha Ado Molomo Asigo Owebude Bubu. Onitsha Ado Molomusi Owebunegbumu Igbo niile gọlọbọsi Owebunegbumu Igbo niile na-ekwu Owebunegbumu n'ọnwụ bụ n'ụbọchị bụ onye bụ ọnwụ Bunegbumu Ado n'ụbọchị bụkwa na Owebunegbumu ọnwụ Owebunegbumu Ado n'ụbọchị bụkwa na Owebunegbumu